Good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday, it's a new month. My name is Jennifer Tom.
And I'm Darlene Ramble.
And it's April. I feel like
Yes,
saying it's
wow.
April Fools.
The weather is making us feel like April Fools.
That's so true. If you don't live part of this world,
Mhm.
we are still experiencing some serious cold and snow. And we are freezing, and I think it's been a long winter, and we are ready for spring.
We are.
Right? Which brings us to our topic for the month. Our theme, remember, Grief Talk is where we share lessons learned through life and loss. And this month, our theme is about growth. Darling, I couldn't even be, I am so thankful we came up with that theme because it's supposed to be spring. And what does spring mean?
It's new growth.
New growth. And so we're talking about growth. And for us here at Grief Talk, we talk how do we grow through grief. First of all, let's just be clear. When we talk about growth, we're not talking about physical growth. I was looking at some definition and it's like not physical growth, it's personal growth. And so, and how do we circle that to grief? I am excited today to have that as a topic for the day. So, what are your thoughts? When you think about growth, what do you think? What comes to mind? What comes up for you? Darlene, when you think about growth, what comes up for you?
I see green grass. I see new stuff springing up. And I think we all go through seasons. We're just feeling like we're coming out of winter where it's kind of been, everything's covered. We're kind of low key. We've been reflecting. It's a good time to be learning. We take all those courses that we can't do when we're busy in summer. But spring is about maybe putting those things to action. And it feels like we can start new things. And so spring is a great time to maybe set some goals to take and reflect on what we've learned on through the winter and put into practice. Like it's like planting, right? We go out and we plant our gardens. So why don't we plant our gardens of our personal growth?
I love so much. Wait a minute. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we're talking about growth and it has seasons, just the way we have seasons that's winter, spring, summer, and fall. So how do we grow through the seasons? And so how do we grow through the seasons of grief? So let's just be practical first and talk about winter. So our winter, we like to share what we've learned, right? So our winter was a time for us to grow where we took courses, we learned so that we can come and share at Grief Talk. And that's what winter season is. It's where we learn, we build new skills. And then we go to spring, and that's where we are at. Now it's about sharing and learning what we've already learned. What about summer, darling? I love the summer idea.
Summer is when we've kind of got those new skills. We've tried. We found out kind of what's working, and we just go through and live our life. We enjoy, right? We enjoy just not having a right doing things that we know what to do. We enjoy being outside. We enjoy taking a vacation. We enjoy just living life, right? Living life with the new skills that we've learned.
I love that so much. And then we have the fall.
Fall is reflection time, right? It's when we say, wow, that worked, right? We've been working all summer. Maybe we find out, that worked. Sometimes when the leaves fall off, maybe it's a good thing where we have things we have to let go, things that didn't work that we can just let fall to the ground. And also just a time, what worked, what didn't, and just getting ready again to figure out what we need to do in winter, what we need to learn, how we need to grow.
I love that so much. So we're talking about growth and relating it to the seasons. And so let's just give us your ideas. How do you grow, right? I love the idea of winter, spring, and then grow with the seasons because that's how I feel it happens even with grief. We go through different seasons and we'll get to that. However, before we get there, so just to give three nuggets, just three nuggets. Like if, let's say when we talk about growth, remember we said not physical growth, it's personal growth. There are things that have helped me with that growth, whether it's wanting to learn a new skill or putting the courses together or getting things done, just being a better human being so that we can show up. The things that help me, number one, is a morning routine, blocking time. I mean, morning routine, please Google morning routine. We all have it. We all need a morning routine, because if you don't have it, like for us to show up without saying, oh, I'm so tired, I need a coffee. You need a morning routine so that you show up 100%. So what is a morning routine? The other thing that has helped me is setting up goals. I love setting up goals. And it doesn't matter, whichever, right? Like, let's say your goal is to visit one friend, connect with someone. Just write it down, have a name, connect with them. And then the third one I'm going to share is blocking that time. Because if you leave it to randomness, it doesn't happen. Both Darlene and I, we say, it has to be on calendar, otherwise it's not happening. And blocking that time. So that's how we found that we've grown ourselves with Grief Talk. So let's circle it to how does that relate to grief? I'm sure some of you are there like, what are you talking about? Growth and seasons, and now we're right? But everything we share at Grief Talk here, it's something we've learned and we come to share. And it's all related. We like to circulate to grief because remember, we're all 100% grievers, and we love sharing what we've learned. So how does growth relate to grief?
And I think there's a couple key things. And I think and one of the things we learn from grief, nobody likes loss, nobody likes the change, but in that we often learn what works and what doesn't. And usually when grief overwhelms us, and the things that worked before didn't work now aren't working now. So through grief, it's often it's a time where we learn new, we learn about ourselves, we learn new ways to cope. And then when we learn those things and start applying them to our lives, then our lives get better. We grow in how we listen to people. We grow in how we relate to people. And we grow in how we can process grief. And maybe it's the current grief, maybe it's that thing that just happened, but it also helps us process other grief, other losses in our life. And when we can learn to process other losses, it's kind of like that past. We can let go of the pain and isolation, the pain from our past. And then we also know how to live in the future because we have those tools that we don't have to worry so much about the future, so we can live in the present. And that's growth. Growth, I think, is living in the present, living our lives fully, is one way that we grow through grief.
I love that so much. So just be prepared, because this is just an intro. This month, I feel like last month, that when we talked about art of communication, I loved it so much. I love this April theme. However, I feel like this is more deep, and we need to please tune in, share with your friends, and just let's learn together about how do we grow through grief. Our intention for this month is to bring a guest who can share more about it, because it's deep and we need to learn from others. And I'm sure our friends out there, they would love to hear different voices. But we love coming every Wednesday. Please stay tuned and let's start thinking about how do we grow through grief. That will be the theme for this month, and we are looking forward. And if you have any questions or ideas, please check out our resources. Another way to grow is to log into Stronger Life Connections and take the course, grab a book. Let's start learning and let's start growing together, because it is actually a difficult topic. However, together we can grow. Right? Together we can grow. So until next Wednesday, please DM us, grab a book and connect with us. Thank you so much.
See you next week.